With each year we see how the PES saga is evolving with each installment. And in each year Konami tries to bring us new things, but it must be said that it is not always like that. The saga tries to add something new either in its gameplay or some league or team license with its already famous partners. But just as new points are added in each installment, the PES saga was forgetting things that at the time were very good. And that contributed a lot to the game more than everything in its offline mode. All this due to the fact that the game modes that are online are given more importance. Either because this generates more money or because that is simply the fashion or trend that is followed today. Relegating a little the experience of that user who prefers to spend their time playing PES without the need to be connected to the internet. For this reason today I bring you in this video 5 elements or things that should never have been eliminated from the Pro Evolution Soccer. And that should return to the saga. Please Konami look at this video. World Classification Phase. This mode was great since it was a plus. And a different game alternative to the leagues and cups. Back in 2006, PES gave us the option of experiencing the entire qualifying process for a World Cup. And later playing said World Cup, I remember that we had the option to choose the region in which we wanted to participate. Either Latin America, North America, Europe, or Asia. And apart from this the rules were adjusted to said region. It was not the same to play in Europe than to play in Asia, since the number of teams is not the same in said competitions. And that is why the classification system was changed, and you even had the possibility that if you did not qualify directly to the World Cup you could play a repechage as long as you reached the necessary points, having the possibility of playing against another team from another continent in 2 games. One going and one back, and then if you qualified the next challenge was to win the World Cup. All this process of getting to the last instance of the tournament made it feel really like a real challenge and more gratifying to win this cup. The PES or PS Shop. This point gave great importance to the game since one tried to raise a certain amount of money to obtain certain rewards in the store. Generally in this store we could find classic players or legends who have passed through the world of football. Although today, if I'm not wrong, the current PES also brings classic players. The factor of having to buy them after previously having saved that money, I think that mini effort gives it a certain value when collecting these stars. Apart from this we could also buy stadiums. Konami could be creative and add a stadium that is exclusive. Tell me what you think of this, let me know in the comments. We could also buy classic teams, and among other things that we could also buy were the heads or skins of dogs of different breeds. And seeing them in the field of play was funny. Apart from that we could also buy animal skins such as that of a penguin, a dinosaur, and an ostrich. Can you imagine that Konami made agreements with large brands to put their skins into the game? I think it would be very funny to see Spider-Man scoring goals and appearing in the ranking of the most scorers in the world. With the PES store the possibilities could be infinite, selling us within the game any amount of things. This should definitely return to PES, and consequently they should also implement a way of raising money as it was done before. That in each game they gave you a lot of money depending on whether you won, tied, or lost a game. I think it could be combined with the points that are won today for surpassing certain achievements. But I have not seen that these points are won with the games you play. I mean victories, draws, and defeats. League composition. This was also one of the options that we could buy in the PES store. And it was one of the options that I liked the most, since I could edit the conformation of the leagues to my liking and generally put the best teams in a single league. And apart from this, the teams of the second division could also be modified. Although this could also be done in the current PES, but with the difference that it can only be done in League mode and not in Master League. And this limits us to not being able to play international competitions. Community mode. In those times where the PS2 reigned, it was not very common to play online between my group of friends. But in the absence of the internet, we had the community mode. It was only to get another TV and another PS2, and we set up tournaments between us. Since in this mode we had the possibility to enter our data. And we could even put our zodiacal sign, which gave it a certain level of emotion when playing a cup or a league with your friends. And see that your name was first in the position table, or that you had the best statistics of the group. Today this mode could be implemented online. I think Konami should give the user the possibility to create their own leagues online. Whether you set up a league with your group of friends or that groups are generated on social networks dedicated to this. Now we go with the honorific mentions. I only have 2 to mention. If you have others that I have not mentioned in this video, please let me know here in the comments box. Negotiations in Master League, and it is a specific point, the possibility that you receive several team offers at the same time for a player. I think this would give a little more realism to the Master League. And that you are the one who decides who wants to sell it, either because they are offering you more money, or because one of the teams that is offering you is to your liking. Sponsors, like the previous point, this adds more importance to the Master League. And it is that you get big or small sponsors depending on the campaign you have done. And likewise, these sponsors add to the annual income of the team. League ranking, goals, assists, and level of players. This is a point that should really return yes or yes to the new Pro Evolution Soccer. Since these create an ecosystem that immerses the user more in the gameplay. Not only within the game field, but also outside of it. I think that within the league ranking, if implemented, all leagues brought by PES should be included in such ranking, giving the user the possibility that if they want to focus, for example, on a Latin American league, and start to rank all the teams of said competition, this should trigger an ascent of said league in the ranking, being able to affect the transfer market. Deriving all this to that important players end up influenced by the ranking in which the league is positioned, where an offer comes from. On the side of the goals and assists ranking, it would be good if they made a universal ranking apart from the local rankings of each league, where the players who have scored the most goals and assists have done throughout their careers so far and who retire. Previously, this was in the Pro Evolution, and it was exciting to see which players competed for the title of the one with the most goals or the one with the most assists throughout all the time. In this case, it was the time in which the user has spent playing the Master League. Finally, we are going to talk about the ranking of the level of the players. Before in PES, we had a section where the most outstanding players appeared according to their performance in the matches, presenting us with a classification of the 5 best among all the leagues according to their position. For example, we had the 5 best forwards, the 5 best midfielders, the 5 best defenders, and the 5 best goalkeepers in the world. I think that the Pro Evolution since the time of PlayStation 2 has made great advances in gameplay and graphics. But it has also forgotten things that in one way or another have led it to be one of the greatest exponents in the world of sports video games. And from my point of view, I think that these things should return. And it is not for the nostalgic factor, but for everything that it could contribute along with the new things that they are including year after year. And that would definitely give a push to the offline experience that has been forgotten little by little. And that has become a monotonous game mode. Well, this has been my opinion about this great game. I hope you have remembered a point that is not present today in the PES, but that at the time gave you hours and hours of fun. I hope you liked the video. If you liked it, please share it so you would help me reach more people. And finally, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet so that you are aware of the content that I make.